with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Commissioner Arnold is not present, apparently called off cylinder. Okay, we have service recognition for Justin Spout. Justin's not with us today. 5 years of service. We appreciate his services to the county. Item number 5.
Make a motion to recess the Commissioners' meeting and open the salary board meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Salary board meeting. Okay. Make a motion to approve the minutes of the November 9th salary board.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 4 on the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Treasurer Miller, seconded by Commissioner Warren to approve the holiday schedule. Item 4. Questions or comments? Yes.
Didn't the commissioners do that last meeting?
Yep,
Can we do it out of order?
kind of did it out of order, so trying to catch up.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5.
Make a motion to approve the 2017 miscellaneous compensation schedule.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall to approve the 2017 miscellaneous compensation schedule. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item number 6.
I make a motion to create the union full-time position of Second Deputy Clerk of Courts Office, range 12, $10.85 an hour, 40 hours per week, 6 months probation period with benefits according to the government mandated requirements, effective January 5th, 2017.
I'll second that.
Motion by Proprietary Clerk of Courts Chris Jones, second by Commissioner Warren to approve item 6 on the agenda, create the Second Deputy Clerk of Courts. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 7.
Motion to eliminate the temporary Clerk of Courts Administrative Clerk, $10.35 an hour, 40 hours per week with no benefits, effective January 6th.
I'll second that.
Motion by Proprietary Clerk of Courts Chris Jones, second by Commissioner Warren to approve item 7 on the agenda, eliminate the temporary position of Clerk of Courts effective January 6th. Questions or comments? Yes.
Why is the recommendation coming from the chief clerk and not from the prothonotary clerk of courts when it's her office?
Yep, that's right, should say from the, so corrected. Thank you, Stacy.
Hey, no problem.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 8.
Make a motion to set salary increases for non-union, non-elected employee salaries for 2017 at an increase of 2%.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 8, set the salary increases for non-union, non-elected employees' salaries for 2017, a 2% increase. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 9.
Make a motion to establish the employee health care contribution rates for non-union, non-elected employees for 2017 as listed on the attached chart.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Treasurer Miller to approve item 9, establishing employee health care contribution rates for the non-union, non-elected employees for 2017. Questions or comments?
Same percentage as last year?
Yes.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any public comment with the salary board? Item 11.
Make a motion to close salary board and return to the Commissioners' meeting.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we go back to the Commissioners meeting. Thank you, Proprietary.
Thank you.
Treasurer, are you staying or leaving?
I'll stick around.
Got to stick around? Oh, okay. Glad to have you on. Okay, item number 6.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from November 23rd, 2016.
I'll second that. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve item 7.
Second.
Approve the minutes of the December 12th meeting by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Warren. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8.
Make a motion to approve item number 8 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, approve item 8 on the agenda to approve the cash disbursements, electronic payments. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9.
Make a motion to approve item number 9 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, approve the seminar request and number of payment for seminar request. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 10.
Make a motion to approve item number 10 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall to ratify and acknowledge the hiring of Edward Fish of Montrose to the open part-time union position as corrections officer for the recommendation of Warden Shell. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 11.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2016-18, which authorizes the commissioners to pursue a $9,000 construction loan with People's Security Bank.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall to approve item 11, adopt resolution 2016-18, authorizing commissioners to pursue a $9,000 construction loan. Questions or comments?
I got a question.
Why?
Why would
All
all
right.
the money you got in the bank, why would you?
All right, so let me explain. We have money that's trapped in our funded debt account. It's been there for many, many years. In order to get it out of the funded debt account and be able to use it, we have to take and borrow money, pay the money back, and we can take it out of the funded debt account.
Is that how much is in it, $9,000?
It's $8,900 and some dollars. So, and instead of leaving the money sit in the account for 20 years that you never use, let's put it in someplace where we can do something with it. And actually, this will be paid back probably about 2 days after we get it, so. it's
We
just
used
a-
to note that on the agenda, that it would be paid back. within a
It's part of the
certain time
resolution.
Yeah.
frame. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2016-19.
Okay, motion by, I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, approve item 12, adopt resolution 2016-19, declaring Paul Johnson, emergency management coordinator, as designated agent for FEMA under the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 13.
Make a motion to approve item number 13 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 13, to approve the contract with Infracon for customized software and services, to convert scanned images into the format requested by the administrative offices of Pennsylvania courts. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 14.
Make a motion to approve item number 14 is listed on the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, approve item 14 on the agenda, to sign the purchase of service agreement between Susquehanna County Services for Children and Youth and Children's Service Center of Wyoming Valley of Wilkes-Barre. This is for July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. And of course, these things always run a year behind. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 15.
Make a motion to approve item number 15 is listed on the agenda.
I will second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, signed by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 15, to sign the purchase service agreement between Susquehanna County Services for Children and Youth and Deverox, King of Prussia, for July 1st, 2014 to June 30th of 2015. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 16.
Make a motion to approve item number 16 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 16 on the agenda, to sign the purchase service agreement between Susquehanna County Services, Children and Youth with Deverox of King of Prussia for July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve item number 17 is listed on the agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, I'll second that. Second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 17 on the agenda, to sign purchase service agreement between Susquehanna County Services for Children and Youth and Deverox of King of Prussia for a term of July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. Hallelujah, they finally get one in the current year. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to approve number 18 as listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 18 on the agenda, to advertise bids for the Susquehanna County excavating and heavy equipment services for a period of January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2018. Sealed bids will be returned by 12 noon on Tuesday, January 10th. in the chief clerk's office, then will be open at the January 11th meeting. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 19.
Make a motion to set salary increases for non-union, non-elected employee salaries for 2017 at an increase of 2%.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, approve item 19, to set the salary increases for non-union, non-elected employee salaries for 2017 at a 2% increase. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Item 20.
Make a motion to approve item number 20 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 20 on the agenda, to establish the employee health rate contribution rates for non-union, non-elected employees for 2017 as listed in the attached chart. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 21.
Make a motion to approve the transfer of $33,117.66 from the Marcellus Legacy Fund to the Ag Land Preservation Fund.
I second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to approve item 21, transfer $33,117.66 from the Marcellus Legacy Fund to the Agricultural Land Preservation Fund. Questions or comments?
No question.
Yes.
What is the Ag Land Preservation Fund used for?
Conservation, would you like to?
Yeah, what is it used for, the money?
The money is used to buy farms for perpetuity. The use of the farm stays in ag preservation. It's not to be used for commercial use. There can't be economic development unless there's, I think they can have like a farm store on it.
The whole move is to try and preserve the farmland. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Item 22.
Make a motion to set the millage for year 2017 for Susquehanna County as follows. 10.5 mils for general real estate for the general fund and 0.33 mils for library fund, and the total millage is 10.830.
I will second that. Questions or comments? And that's the exact same as been since 2000. Since 2008, I believe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 23.
Make a motion to adopt the 2017 Susquehanna County budget in the amount of $29,994,024.81.
I will second that. Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Hall, to adopt the 2017 Susquehanna County budget in the amount of $29,994,024.81. Questions or comments?
Are there any major changes in expenditures, revenues, where your money's allocated?
Not really. Everything is pretty much consistent with the previous years. The budget itself is, what did we figure, it's about 60,000?
60,000 more than last year.
Yeah, it's $60,000 more than it was last year. So the amount of increase is minimal compared to the amount of dollars the budget is. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment? Yes, Bill.
I'm sure you all saw the Auditor General's report on Act 13 money. Just curious if you have any comment.
Oh, I have lots of comments on that.
I would imagine.
Here's the deal on that. And unfortunately, the way a lot of that was written was bogus. The Auditor General, and I actually met with the Auditor General probably a month or two before they even did that investigation. And we had the discussion about the Act 13 money. And of course, the push has always been to try and get this money out of this county. And first of all, we're not doing anything inappropriate. None of the municipalities are doing anything inappropriate. When you stop and look at it, you know, we need to give great thanks to people like Representative Majors, Representative Pickett, Senator Baker, and Senator Yaw for working so hard on the Act 13 legislation to give us the broad range, because that's what they were looking for. They wanted it broad enough so that the municipalities and county could do the best things they could for the taxpayers. And that's why it was established as broad as it was. They had the PUC as part of the organization, of course, to, I don't want to say monitor, to kind of oversee it. PUC from day one held several conferences, seminars going over the Act 13, saying that it was broad and that they wouldn't define exactly what the terminology was on it, that it was up to the municipalities and their attorneys or them to determine if it actually fit. In talking with legislators, again, it was said to be broad so that it wasn't so tightly specified that you could never spend the money. It was to allow this money to come back into these counties, to allow these municipalities in the county to use it for the best interest of the taxpayers. If you remember, and of course it was a big fight for all those people to get this thing through Harrisburg. And I think the only reason why it got through, they didn't realize how much money it was in the beginning. In 2015, if you remember, and believe me, the AG was totally against this from day one, this money coming to the counties. He made no bones about it. He did not want it to go to the counties. He wanted it all to go to Harrisburg into the coffers down there. The 2015 came around and they tried to push again through the Senate hearings to try and take this money away from us again. If you recall, I testified in those hearings in Harrisburg. And at that time, again, with the hard work of Sandy and Tina and Lisa and Jean working real hard down there, aligning with other people, we're able to keep it intact for us and keep the Act 13 funds going. Now, again, this is nothing more than an individual that may have aspirations for the future of running for office and grandstanding. Just like he did with the whole problem with the, if you remember, several months ago, there was the issue with the welfare fraud in the state of Pennsylvania with people using access cards in Hawaii and Florida and every place else, and it's out of control. So again, you can run dog and pony shows, put charts up and try and impress people and get a name for yourself, but the bottom line is this money has come back to our counties for reasons, and it's to be a benefit of the people from the counties where all the gas drilling is going on. Now, it just didn't benefit these counties. His county alone, down in York County, got over $300,000, but never bothered to say how they spent their money. And I don't know how they have any impacts down there. And that's the other fallacy of this. We call it an impact fee. This is a tax, and that's what this is. We are taxing the gas industry for the gas that's coming out. Now, they didn't want to call it a tax. They want to try and be a little bit more political correct and make it a little bit more favorable to people, so we called it an impact fee. But it's a tax. You charge the fee for the gas that's coming out of the ground. So this tax, over $1 billion has been collected and sent to Harrisburg out of our counties. Over $1 billion. I think it's probably only about 35% of that ever came back to our counties. The rest went to Harrisburg. And you never hear them talk about what they did with the $600+ million that they've got in Harrisburg and what they did with that. And again, this is just nothing more than smoke and mirrors. But like the state conservation in Harrisburg has gotten over $30 million. Fish and Boat's gotten over $5 million. PUC's gotten over $5 million. DEP's gotten over $30 million. Emergency Management in Harrisburg's gotten $3.75 million. State Fire Commission got $3.75 million. PennDOT's gotten $5 million. And the Natural Gas Energy Development, whatever that is in Harrisburg, has gotten $20 million. Now that doesn't include all the money that from the counties or from the municipalities that were over their draw. They are only allowed to get so much money in impact fees. So we have several counties that are allocated more money than what they can actually get. So all that money that's above goes back to Harrisburg. And then they get to do what they want with that. And a lot of that goes into their housing that they do through Act 13. So God only knows where all that money went to. So, I mean, it's easy to, sit in Harrisburg and make comments and shoot darts at us, but, this money's been used to the benefit of the taxpayers. If you look at Susquehanna County in a whole, between the municipalities and the county, I would be safe to say that the money that's come here has saved our local taxpayers over the next 30 years, has saved them well over, $100 million. You take townships like Bridgewater, New Milford Township, that had to go out and buy graders and trucks. They were able to use that with this money to do that. They still needed to buy the graders and trucks, whether they had this money or not. So when you're talking about a $400,000 grader, and you use the money to buy that grader to take care of the roads, you're not getting, there's no tax increase. If you don't use that money, then you have to go borrow $400,000 to buy the grader. You then have to make payments. You have to put it in the tax bills for capital, whatever, capital equipment. So for the next 10 to 20 years, your taxpayers are paying this money. Now, when you borrow $400,000, you don't get to pay back $400,000. Even when we borrow $9,000 for a day, it still costs us money to borrow $9,000 for a day. Same thing with $400,000. You borrow $400,000 for 10 or 20 years, you don't pay back $600,000. So that saves the taxpayers in our counties and municipalities a lot of money, and money that they don't have to part with now over the next 30 years. So it's a huge investment in our county. It's if you looked at all the things that our legislators have done for our counties, by far, and most people don't understand the importance of this, by far, that is the single most important thing that they could have done for this county, is by getting that funding to come here. So that would be used in our counties to reduce the tax liabilities to our residents over the next many years. So again, he can say what he wants, and that's fine, they usually do down there. Make no bones about it, I don't really get along with a lot of them down there, and that's fine. But this is a good thing for us, and they will continue, and I've warned everybody, they will continue to fight to take this money away from our counties. And that's what this is all about. They will try and discredit where they can, so they can sit there and say, see, I told you we should have this all down here. Well, how many times have we said, Harrisburg spending, how ethical and reasonable is that in Harrisburg? So again, it's their push to get it out of here. They'll do everything they can to get it to Harrisburg and take it away from all of our communities and our taxpayers. And once they've got it there, they'll be happy. And I expect that the push that they're doing, and that I expect in probably the next 2 to 5 years, you will probably see this money go away, because the governor and the people in Harrisburg do not want this money in these counties. They see the $1 billion that was paid in on this, and they do not want this hundreds of millions of dollars coming back to the local municipalities across the state. So that's what I have to say about that one.
Okay, I basically agree with you, because what I read in the newspaper, and it's certainly within the guidelines of
Right.
established by Act 13.
Right, and I have documents where we've responded to PUC and have asked PUC and asked people to define. They refuse to do it, tell us just make your own decision, ask your attorney. They're not going to define it. And matter of fact, the crazy thing about this, when they first come out with this, and I don't know if Rick, you were in that meeting, or Jack, you were in that meeting, but there was a meeting over in Towanda. Lysox, exactly, at the fire hall. PUC came in, did this big dog and pony show, talked about the reporting and what had to be done, and told us right in that meeting 2 things that I will never ever forget. The first thing they said was, we're not going to tell you how to use it, that's up to you guys and your attorneys to figure out. And the second thing they said was, and don't worry about it, nobody's ever going to get audited on this. And,
Do you remember your response to that?
yes.
You want to repeat that?
Well, go ahead.
You said at that meeting, this is nothing more than a license to steal.
That's right.
Well, I think East Strabane Township in Washington County, they probably are
Listen,
in a little trouble.
I don't know how you see a benefit from buying a bouncy house or renting a bouncy house or sending somebody to American Idol. But I will tell you that in working with our local municipalities and the people I talk to and our county, we have not nobody has foolishly spent the money. It's always been for the benefit of the taxpayers. Now, somebody brings up about the car for the district attorney. We did not buy the district attorney a car. We bought a car for the district attorney's office that is used by many people in that department. And yes, the district attorney uses it too, the assistant district attorney uses it too, and the undercover people use it too, to go out and make buys with it. So now if the Auditor General and the rest of them wants to take pictures of it with all the undercover agents, so people can see how it's being used, we can do that, but then we won't be able to use it for its purpose. We can
Right.
just park it at that point. So, you know, again, you know, it's been a mess since day one, but again, it's been a blessing for our counties and and has helped our economic development in our counties by having this funding coming here. But as far as this county and the municipalities in Susquehanna County, I have not heard or seen any place in this county where somebody's done anything that's inappropriate or even questionable. And even though the Auditor General has used the words questionable, just because it's questionable doesn't mean it's not legal or not right. That's just his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion like everybody else.
Anybody can question anything.
And anybody can question anything.
I know in Liberty Township, the money from Act 13 the first year was more than double our total budget a few years before when I was
Right,
in.
which allowed you to get things done in that.
And our roads show it.
Right.
There's a difference. Yeah.
Right, right. So yeah, so that's where we're at on the Act 2. How long it'll last, I don't know. Hopefully long enough to, because part of what happens too is we've gotten some Act 13 money back for roads through PennDOT. And God knows, we need more money back through PennDOT for roads in Susquehanna County. So, you know, we'll take every penny we can get, you know. Last year, this year, we did a section of road, they did a section of road down by New Milford and stopped at basically the, I don't want to say New Milford line, but, you know, 100 yards into the New Milford line, instead of doing all of Route 11 through New Milford that needed to be done sorely. You know, so those
Who
are
cares
funds that
about
need
New
to send.
Milford anyhow?
So anyway,
Drive through there every day.
yeah, so that's, you know, but that's the thing, again, you know, and understanding finances the way I do, and you look at the longevity and future cost and how it all plays in, you know, when you can, you know, leverage this money to use it so it avoids raising taxes over the next 30 years and avoid borrowing money, you know, everything that you leverage there is a huge impact for our taxpayers. You know, I mean, a lot of municipalities have been able to hold the line. Some municipalities have been able to eliminate their taxes by doing other things. But for them to get this money, and although, you know, New Milford Borough doesn't get a big chunk of money, they do get some that allows them to invest that into their parks or whatever projects they've got going on, which is a benefit to all their taxpayers. If they didn't have that money, they either don't do the project or they go borrow the money and somebody's got to pay for it. And, you know, the same with the townships. You know, townships are huge because they're buying graders and equipment and so they can maintain the roads. Those are all huge expenses, so.
Can I just comment
Sure.
on that money that goes back in and goes into housing, affordable housing? We just signed on November 23rd for over $1 million for the fair grant agreement, and that's where that money,
Right.
it goes into there. So there's $1 million coming back into Susquehanna County because of, and I just want, I don't even think I told Alan, I did email our Auditor General and asked him to, I would like to invite him to come to Susquehanna County, see what we have done with the money, see what Susquehanna County is like, and we can show him where the money is spent and how well spent it is in Susquehanna County. I'm looking forward to hearing from him or his office.
Good idea.
So anyway, so that's the Act 13.
I just thought you'd want to comment. I had a feeling.
Right. Right. Any other public comment?
I have. I've been living here for my whole life, and over the last 30 years, I watched a major decay of our communities, towns, and so forth. That said, over the last 5 or 6 years, I've seen a rejuvenation of them. I've seen a lot of individual pride and excitement going into these communities. And I've seen new sidewalks, parks, people really trying to do things, and that's positive. My concern is, can that continue without an increase in economic development? So I have a three-part question to use. First one, can you provide some color at the present economic development in the county? Let me ask all three, so then you can do it. What fields do you see as potential growth opportunities in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, home health care, indoor agriculture, what do you see as it? And what do you believe the county has to do to be in a position to take advantage of this?
Okay, let me take one at a time. The current state or economic development is that we are trying to look to the future as to how we can develop and what we can do to bring stable employment and stable jobs into the community. Some of the things that we've already done and some of the things that has been accomplished is we have a industrial or a business park study that we had an engineering firm come in and do to try and see if there was any type of possibility of trying to create, that business park. That was back a few years ago that Mary Ann and I worked on. During that time that we did that study, we also put into the recap, into the capital budget in Harrisburg, request for $2 million for a business park development. We also put another $2 million in at that time for capital projects in Susquehanna County. So we put $4 million into the capital budget in Harrisburg, trying to get that money freed up and sent to our county. This last weekend, I just worked on another grant for $4 million for the new 911 center and the emergency management, got that done. Mary Ann and I worked on the grant for the, to get the grant for the Hartford Township and Bridgewater Township for their sewer projects. Both of them are about $400,000 a piece, so those have been filed. We worked on those. We also have another $5 million grant we're working on to get submitted on top of the other grants we have in Harrisburg for the business park in Susquehanna County. The whole key is trying to leverage enough money out of Harrisburg for infrastructure. Without the infrastructure, we can't do anything. But there are some things we can do. The home health thing, you mentioned that when you were talking. Home health is, I can see that as a huge one in this county. Is trying to get one of the hospitals or an organization to focus more on home health care instead of the brick and mortar and those things. So I think that's a huge opportunity to try and invest in that. And that's actually, and I'll let Mary Ann talk on it a little bit more. Mary Ann does a lot of the work on the medical and the health side. I do more on the business side. We did receive the grant from Harrisburg for $450,000 to run the water line down to the jail, which will open up that corridor for the for development into that area by getting the infrastructure. We are working now with one of the gas companies we found a pipeline grant that's available. So we're trying to get the local distributor, Leather Stocking, to get them to step up more by getting them grants to get the out of the state budget to get them hooked up in New Milford, so we get New Milford online, and then also get the South Montrose. So there's $200,000-300,000 grants that are being worked on there. It's about grant writing. It's about getting involved and being focused on these grants and trying to get these grants freed up. It's about trying to look at sustainable jobs that can come to the area. The home health, of course, is going to be a huge one. Light manufacturing is going to be another thing that we want to be looking at to try and encompass and pull in. Distribution centers. One of the fastest growing companies right now in the United States is Amazon. Getting an Amazon distribution center would be phenomenal if we could pull something like that into this area. Mary Ann's always wanted a Subaru factory. I don't know if we can get that, but those are some of the things that we have to work on, trying to leverage those types of businesses. But I think some of this needs to fall back to is we're looking at our Economic Development Advisory Board, and we need to step that up a little bit more and get that more engaged to try and get some of the things going that we need to get going in this county. These things aren't going to fall in your lap. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to go out and get this stuff. I've been in constant contact with several people in Harrisburg and with the development groups to try and figure out different ways that we can to promote and get things going for this county. You know, the future is there. You know, unfortunately, it's a huge ship that we're trying to turn in the ocean, and it's going to take time. But what we do today and tomorrow and the next 3 years of this term will dictate how things will go for the next 50 years in this county. And if we can get those investments, if we can get people to recognize that there is a Susquehanna County and get the infrastructure money here and get things moving and get our roads taken care of and get the investment in our areas, it's going to be a huge thing. Mary Ann and I have a meeting, I think it's the 20th, with a group about running what's it called, dark fiber, is that what it's called? Dark fiber through this county. And it's about a $10 million project. Well, one of the big issues we have in this county right now is connectability. Our internet service is absolutely atrocious. And I'm being kind with those words. And you know.
Yes, you are.
I'm being very kind with those words. This $10 million project, and that's another one we may try and see if we can get in the state capital budget, is trying to get money. It'll be a public-private partnership, and basically what it is, they run in the dark fiber through the county on the main roads, and then allow the other internet providers like Verizon or Frontier or whoever to hook their equipment to that line and bring it into your services, so it'll upgrade your services to the speed that everybody should be getting. So that's something else that we're working on. I mean, that's a huge one right there. I mean, because we've got to have the connectivity in this county. It's killing us, you know, especially with businesses. I mean, it's hard to bring businesses in here that want to, you know, if you do a call center or if you do anything like that that wants you to voice over IP, you know, if you don't have that connectivity, you know, it's a huge problem. So those are all kinds of investments that we need to get made. And we need to do this without burdening the taxpayer and raising taxes so that people can't live here. We have to go after the grants. We have to be innovative in what we're doing. We need to look at our Economic Development Board and try to expand that to meet some other things. And I'm going to let Mary Ann talk for a second about the health stuff that's going on, but also the other thing with the DCNR. So.
Just for a second, thank you.
Well, I'll give you a couple minutes.
I just want to comment that when 18 years ago, when I was with the Chamber of Commerce, when people with businesses would call and say, you know, I want to come to Susquehanna County, what do you have to offer? You know, the infrastructure, they were looking, of course, for, you know, city water, sewer, and they wanted natural gas. Well, at that time, we couldn't offer that only in Forest City. And now we have the natural gas, so now it's changed to connectivity, you know, that we need. So things, you know, change. Even when you come up with what they wanted 18 years ago, now we need connectivity. As for healthcare and taking care of our seniors and others in the county, I sit on the Behavioral Health, Intellectual Disability, Early Intervention Board, and with that, we have progressed, you know, in mental illness and recognizing it, and it's not a bad word. It's, you know, you need to bring that out in the open and deal with it. It can't be in the closet anymore. You know, we formed the Suicide Awareness Initiative 2 years ago. We gave that a 6-month task force to accomplish something. And I think we did. And as we move forward, we have Scranton Counseling now seated in the Endless Mountain Health Systems. We're looking at helping with the phase 3 by incorporating that, and I think Alan has met with Senator Yaw regarding that, to work further into that opioid disaster that we have all over the Commonwealth, and to be able to get more monies into Susquehanna County. So I think that adult daycares, they're needed in Susquehanna County. I know people that leave their home in New Milford, take their mother to Scranton every morning and then have to leave their place of business and go pick them up. That's a huge burden on people. We need to look at what our needs are right now and find ways to take care of it.
I think that's a real key. What, about a month and a half ago, I was invited by John Flanagan. He's the vice president of Presbyterian Columbia Hospital.
Mhm.
And he really laid out where home health is going to be going. And with the visual doctor, with home dialysis, with home care. And I think, and the technicians that are going to be needed to do that. And that may be a real key. We can't have this big gigundous General Motors moving in here. It's what you're talking about. It's good to hear this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because,
A few years back, I had the unfortunate opportunity of needing home health care.
Yeah.
And people came from, I don't know, Oliphant, I don't even know where they came from.
Sure.
But they don't know the roads of Susquehanna County. Of course, I live on Main Street in New Milford. That was easy to find right off of 81. But if you live out in Little Meadows or Friendsville,
Where I live.
you're not going to, it's hard for people to,
Well,
to get there, and
My
especially in a
neighbor's hooked up
snowstorm.
on home dialysis right now. The problem is the technician would have issues with the equipment.
Mhm.
They have to come all the way from Geisinger.
Right, and I think, both of you have hit the nail on the head. I think what you look at is, we've got these brick and mortar buildings that we can, that we can use to take and put the technicians in, and the people that need to be at like a call center, so that the people at home can call into these centers and get their help without having to take and leave their home. And then we can have people locally that can go out and help them instead of trying to bring people from another
I
town.
didn't mean to take, but it's important to me to see this excitement, and I hate to see it go down. And I just hope we don't go after these big gigundous things instead of the things that you're talking about that we could really do if we focus on it.
Yeah, we can't, listen, we can't compete with the big guns. When you look at a company that, there's one that just went out and, out toward Elmira on 17 or 86 or whatever number you want to call it these days. They were given a $77 million tax break to come there. There's just no way, we can't compete with that, just
Well,
like we
could
couldn't
do
compete
incubators
with.
like Mary Ann is saying for
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Indoor
So we
ag.
can do the smaller stuff like she's talking about and you're talking about, the smaller companies, the smaller healthcare. But the other thing that, you need to tie into this too is the education system.
Well,
Because, there's a lot that can be done there. We've got all these brick and mortar schools here right now, and everybody's trying to do all their own thing, and the cost is gigantic to the taxpayers, where there can be, I'm not saying consolidate the schools, but you can consolidate the services
the administration
to
part.
administration-wise.
Business we have to do every
And
day.
listen, kids today, when you're getting the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, there's a lot more online learning that should be taking place with these kids, because when they get to college, a lot of the classes in college now are online learning. So, we should be embracing that, pulling that in and working to do that and advancing that and being able to offer better programs. The biggest complaint I've heard from schools, I don't have enough kids to have this biophysics class, so, we can't afford to run it. Well, okay, but if you could reach out across the 7 different school districts with this, you might pick up 60 kids that might want to take this class, and then it'd be cost effective to do it.
I mean, you have districts now that aren't even offering French anymore because they can't find a French teacher.
Right, exactly.
Honestly, if you have children going to college and they can speak French, they should major in that because they will get their education paid for.
Right.
Well,
It's under an initiative.
I really thank you for that, but now I have something that's bothering me. I don't come to these meetings, but I watch a lot of them on video. And I'm under the assumption, and maybe it's an assumption, that you have resigned as the chair. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not the chairman.
Well, I have to ask you, do you think that's fair to us taxpayers? Because I see you as the catalyst to responses. I mean, do you really think that is fair to us? I mean, in business, I wanted my people to be, to lead that did that. That don't mean all of you aren't good. I mean, I really thank you for what you've done, your service you've done. But I got a real problem with that. I don't think the taxpayers are being served right with you resigning. You were elected to do a job. I'd like you to reconsider that. And don't take it as wrong, but it just doesn't seem right to me as a business person. And that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time.
Could I ask what your name is?
John Kukowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were
All right.
involved,
Yeah, all right.
some
I'm
years
sorry.
ago.
I'm
I still
sorry.
am very involved with
sorry.
education through the O'Neill Foundation and so forth.
Thank you.
Well, John, I appreciate the words, and, basically what happened was about, I can't remember, what it was 11 weeks ago or 12 weeks ago, I stepped down as the chairman because I kind of got to the point where I was bombarded trying to get a lot of grants done, trying to get things done, and, I thought that if I had another person step up as the chair, it would, that person would step up and we'd get a lot of things done and I could get things going. Unfortunately, it was a huge mistake on my part to do that. Unfortunately, the individual, as you can see, is not here today, called off sick. But, and not to beat this person up, unfortunately, this person doesn't come to work very often. And that doesn't help me as a person trying to be a commissioner getting things done. So yeah, it's a huge problem, and that problem needs to be fixed. And we need to do, unfortunately, we need to do what's right for the taxpayers. Unfortunately, the chairperson that we have now does not want to work with the other two commissioners, won't come to meetings, won't come to briefings that we have. We have an 8:15 briefing every morning with the chief clerk to find out, what the pertinent issues are for the day, and I think the individual's made it 3 times through the year.
Then I think my request for you two to reconsider is worthwhile, because this community is important to all of us. And again, I'd like to stop there and thank you very much for your time.
Well, I think it's something we need to address and take care of.
I think we do too. In order for me as the minority to be able to do my job that I was elected to do, that the taxpayers, the voters gave me the opportunity to take care of a $30 million budget.
And you've been doing it for years, and I heard you hear about the hate out in the hallway, but we do really thank you for what you do. I was very quiet out there.
The more I hate you.
In business, I learned your mouth is like toothpaste. It's easy to squeeze it out and hard to put it back in.
Well,
But I really thank you.
I've learned to have thick skin around
Yep.
here because, and things have not been as they should be. Lack of communication, accountability, things like that. Teamwork. I think that we were put here to be a team to do the right things for the county. I had posted on my Facebook page this morning, it's funny, that teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
That may sound silly, but it's true. At this time, I would like to make a motion to reinstate Commissioner Hall as the chairperson of the commissioners.
Yeah, I'll second that. Any questions or comments on the motion?
I think that's a good move for our community. And I thank you, Marianne, both of you, for what you've done. I know I'm behind scenes, but I watch a lot of things. And I really thank you for what you're doing here.
We're in public comment. I just want to say, as the minority, I'm the minority. I have no skin in this game.
I'm a
It's just
Democrat,
like
so you don't have no worries.
I'm
I'm a Democrat, so I'm a minority too.
Well,
You should live in Harmony Township.
you have to do what's right for the taxpayers, and
Yeah.
you just have to do the right thing.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that it's come to this, and like I said, unfortunately, it is what it is, and I know that, the chairman has made comments throughout the county that, we're not willing to work with the chair, and that, we're constantly going against, but, that's far from the truth. There's 3 people here, 3 different personalities. Our job is to come to the table, and you're not going to always agree all the time, and if you do agree all the time, that's even a bigger problem. And there's days that me and the Democrat don't agree.
Absolutely.
And have some nice words about that. But anyway.
But at the end of the day, it's over, it's done, you move on to the next.
Right.
You don't, yeah.
And it's about the taxpayers, and I'm sure that doing this will get beat up by some of the people that by her or some of the other people, and that's what it is. You know, we gotta do what's right for the taxpayers. So with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I think that, with that done, we do need to, you know, we need to make a motion about the vice chair. You want to let that set for now?
I'll make a motion to make that through the vice chair.
All right, I'll second that. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. All right, any other public comment? All right, I thank all of you for coming today. Enjoy your day.
Merry Christmas,
Don't have
Happy
a
New Year.
Merry
Oh, we'll
Christmas.
see you before New Year. Happy holidays.
Well,
Are we back here before Christmas?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I forgot.
Are you serious?
maybe you can have 2 Christmases
You
this
calling
year.
off that day?
You can,
No.
no, you can have, well, I will tell you, there has been 3 meetings I've missed in 5 years. 2 of them were because I was in meetings in the DEP office in Harrisburg, and the third one is because my mother had an emergency surgery, which the chairperson said was pretty convenient. So yes, I have only missed 3 meetings. I take this job responsibility very, very highly and do not miss things. So,
Motion to adjourn.
second,
On that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all again for coming. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a great Christmas.
You too.
For those of us not obligated to be here.
I know.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Have a good one.
I know.
Just wanna